What is up, everybody on YouTube? CodyRay119 here for another video. Today is Slashback Saturday. So this week's theme, the Horror Man wants us to review a slasher movie from the 90s. So the movie I'm going to review is none other than everybody's most hated movie, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Next Generation. Yes, this movie that everyone hates. But to be honest, just keep an open mind. This movie is very entertaining. The acting, yeah, really bad. The story-wise, not so good, but entertaining. Yeah, a lot of people did not like this Leatherface. He does scream a lot and whine like a little bitch. That's pretty much all he does in this movie. We also have two upcoming stars in this movie, starring Matthew McConaughey as Filmer and Renee Zellweger as Jenny. This movie starts off at the prom where we have these characters: Barry the douchebag, Heather, Jenny, and her date, Sean. The movie starts off where everyone seems to have fun, and Heather finds her boyfriend, Barry, the douchebag, making out with another girl. She runs off to her car and he goes after her. And this is where you see Heather is fucking stupid in this movie. Barry would tell her that you will have prostate cancer if you don't have sex. So, yeah, she believes him. That's just how stupid she is in this movie. Then we have Jenny and her boyfriend, or just a date, Sean, and showing up out of nowhere in the back, telling her that you don't get prostate cancer if you don't have sex. So, yeah. Anyways, they drive down and go to out of nowhere, and they hit another car with another guy coming out of his car, and they were checking on him and see if he was okay. And he goes, I'm not hurt, I'm not hurt. Then passes out. Then they decide to look for help, and they come across this real estate building, and they meet up with this lady, Darla. She will call for help. Now we are back to the car where Vermin shows up, checks on the kid laying on the ground passed out. He tells Sean that he's dead, and Sean responds, no, he's just passed out. Then Vermin snaps the kid's neck and tells him he's dead. Then Sean just runs away. Vermin jumps in the truck, goes after him, and Sean stops and tries to catch his breath, asking Vermin to give him a chance. And Vermin just says, you're shit out of luck. So Sean stays on the road and just runs, and Vermin catches up to him, runs him over, back and forth. Sean, if you ran in the woods, you would have survived just a bit longer. You know, typical scary movies where we have one dumbass gets themselves killed all the time. Now the next thing, we see Jenny walking on the road by herself. She gets startled by a garbage bag that's just float behind her. Then we have Barry and Heather approaching this house, knocking on the door, asking anybody home for help. And this is something that you should never do, is break into a mysterious house. And they did. So, and then Heather takes a seat while Barry wanders around the house, taking a piss. Leatherface was playing with her hair without her knowing that he was right behind her. So she figured out that who was behind her. She ran, and Leatherface went after her and grabs her, brings her back in the house, puts her in a little freezer, and she tries to get out a couple of times. Then Leatherface just tries to shove her right back in there and just put a bunch of shit on top to keep her in there. Then he starts doing that screaming, yelling like whiny bitch. He's going to be screaming like that for another minute or two. And we have Barry in the house taking a piss, and after that, then he knows there was a body in the tub. So he's like, oh shit, and gets out of the bathroom, and there's Leatherface, knocks him out with a hammer. And of course, we have Leatherface screaming and yelling for a long period of time. Something that Leatherface does a lot in this movie. Then Leatherface takes Heather out of the freezer and puts her on the meat hook to make some room. Now that we have next scene, Jenny gets in the truck with Vermin. Basically, he was telling her that she should be careful where to jump in vehicles with strangers. Then he starts kind of terrifying her and kind of gets a little aggressive, and Jenny was telling him that he was scaring her, and he was like, scared? You don't know scared, you know. Then he was telling her to look back, and she refuses. So he forced her to turn her head in the back and sees her dead boyfriend Sean in the back of the truck. So now that he stopped, and she ran out of the truck and starts running for her life. And out of nowhere, Leatherface pops out chasing after her. And yeah, does his little yelling and screaming till she reached to the house. Running upstairs, jumping out the window. She continued running away from Leatherface, and she reaches to that real estate house and tells Darla that there's some guy with a chainsaw chasing her. And she was like, well, it's nobody, you know. Then here comes W.E. Slaughter with a bag. So they brought her back in the house. You'll now see Vermin and Leatherface and a bunch of, like, a dinner table set ready. And, you know, it's pretty much just like every other, like the other Chainsaw Massacre films, where they get like a table, get the meal ready and this and that, and terrify the victims. So, you know, of course, they did bring Heather out, and we have Illuminati guys coming in and telling Vermin about meaning of horror and shit like that. So, yeah, the endings, pretty much, you don't really miss much. And Jenny becomes this kind of anti-hero standing up to them and tells Leatherface to shut the fuck up. And of course, Leatherface just sits right back down. So now then, of course, Heather did get like set on fire by Vermin. So pretty much, Jenny just escapes, and Vermin just chases after her. And of course, we got the plane coming down, kills Vermin, and Jenny sees a limo, gets in, and it was the guy that was lick her face earlier in the movie, which I forgot to mention early. So, pretty much, you know, and the Illuminati guy was telling her where she wants to go, the hospital or the police. So we now have the ending where the doctor was, or the interviewer or some guy was telling Jenny that they're going to get to the bottom of this, they're going to find out who did it, this and that. Then we see Marilyn Burns make a cameo as one of the patients laying on the bed. So that's pretty much what the movie was about. Not very good movie, but a fun movie. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Want to thank the Horror Man creating this cool thing called Slashback Saturday. So I will link his channel in the description box. Check him out. I think you guys will love his content he makes. So you can follow me on social media such as Facebook, /ShurApp, at CodyRay119. See you all later.